Hello, in this portion we're going to be talking about uploading your documents up into Sureclose, how you turn your paperwork into the office. So a couple of things to know. There is another video presentation that's a slideshow of how to use Sureclose. This is actually the live demonstration of how you use Sureclose. So you'll want to watch both. One is a PowerPoint and it gives you some different information. This is the live demonstration. Also, you want to be sure that you've watched the setup, which is the very first part of this series. Make sure you watch that, but I'm going to do a couple of things as reminders. In order to do your business, you're going to need to have access and know these links. There are 3 different links that you use with our office to start a file in Sureclose with us. The one that ends in A101 is actually the link that you use if you have a lease contract. That would be landlord and tenant have signed paperwork, and that's a lease contract. You need to fill out that cover sheet. The A100 is any sales contract, whether it's land, new build, resale, whether you represent the buyer or the seller. So if your listing sells, when you have that contract, buyer and seller have signed the paperwork, you need to start a new cover sheet, a new file using the A100 cover sheet. The last one you see there is the listing, and that's when you take a new listing. You need to start that cover sheet in order to start a file in Sureclose. The other thing I want you to remember is you need to have the setup right. We went over the setup. Let's see if I have that. We did go over the setup in the first section, but the thing to remember is you need to have the the Sureclose print driver uploaded so that you can use it. That's the major way that you're going to upload your paperwork into Sureclose. So for this demonstration, we're going to assume that the offer that you wrote on Crescent Way, that turned into a contract. Buyer and seller signed it, and you're ready to get started. So the first thing you would do is click on the link. Once you click on the link for the first time, add it to your favorites so you don't have to remember this link or keep opening the document to get to that link. So when you click on that link, an A100 form is going to populate in your browser, and you're going to want to fill out all the fields, every single one of them, with this information. I want to highlight a part of it. When you go and you start to add the seller names, the buyer names, etc., there's a question that says, do you want to invite the seller into the transaction? What that means is, are you going to give your client, whoever that is, access to Sureclose so that they can download their own paperwork or see any notes that you've made in the system? Either way, whether you invite them or not, we're going to add them to your transaction so you can see that they're the seller or the buyer. But do you want them to receive a username and password to actually log in and see it for themselves? Either way is fine with us, just however you choose to do it, check yes or no. But even if you check no, I recommend that you still give us an email address. The reason for that is you may, what is this? Let's just make it up, buyer.com. I'm sure that's not what I actually loaded into the system, but you put an email address there so that when you want to, that's Neil and Janet. If you want to email them from the site, from the Sureclose, you'll have it up there, seller.com. Now this happens to be the seller, and we represented the buyer, so it's unlikely that you would have the seller's email address, nor should you email them if it's not your client. But this is dual rep, so it might be in there. So if I go down to our client, which is Joe and Jane or Janet Buyer, even though I didn't want to invite them, I wanted Joe's email address up there so I can email directly from Sureclose. And then there's a section right here, are there any other parties you want to invite? You can either invite other parties like a lender or a short sale negotiator, but you can also say, well, you know what, Jane's the wife and she likes to receive emails too, and I'm going to want to email from Sureclose, so I can say, here's Jane, here's her email address, and I can even put a note that says, don't invite, but please add the email address. Use this any way you want, whether you're inviting or you're not. What type of sale is this? the listing office. Make sure you put all of this. This is how we're going to know whether you're representing the buyer or the seller. In this case, it's dual representation. That's why we have West USA in both spots. Fill in the title, information, the mortgage company, whether this is a West USA Revelation office lead, and what do you expect? What do you think that your total commission will be? Down here is where you can tell people that you're going to tell the office that you're going to split commission with somebody in the office. This is a dual representation, so I actually filled it out a little differently. I want to go over it. If we were splitting one side of it, this may look different than if we were on opposite sides of the transaction. In this case, we're on opposite sides of the transaction. So when I come over here to E&O, I have 100% for both of them because I'm going to get charged 100% of the E&O for the buy side, and Chuck's going to get charged 100% of the E&O for the sell side, the listing side. If we were splitting one side of it, I might have 50% and 50% or 60-40 or whatever it is that you guys have agreed to split that E&O. Same with the commission, same with the production. And in this case, since it's a dual representation, I probably would have called Chuck and say, hey, how much are you making on your side? So we can just fill out one A100 and start one file. Once you do that, the last part is there a referral fee due? Is it a reload company referral? Do you have a referral to an outside agent from our company? That's where you would put this information here. And if there is, you put their company name, the agent name, etc. Once you click done, what that's going to do is that's going to send this information to our office. And you give us 1 business day to set up your file in Sureclose. That means if you've uploaded this on a Tuesday, you know that by the end of the day on Wednesday, that your file will be set up. You should receive an email stating that your file is set up. But even if you don't, because sometimes those go into a spam or junk folder, you should know that you can just log into Sureclose and find your file there.